Sometimes as Christians, we are prone to miss the forest while looking at the trees. And what I mean by this is sometimes the situation right in front of us can be so overwhelming and so complex and so big that we lose sight of God in this picture and what God has done for us and how God has acted in mighty ways, and understand that God has got this. We tend to want to claim what's right in front of us and own it and not let God do what God does. We see a great example of this with Saul in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 13, where Saul is a relatively new king. He has seen God's hand at work, and here he is in a battle with the Philistines. It says that they have more warriors than the grains of sand on the seashore. And Saul needs answers from God. He's waiting for Samuel to show up to make the sacrifices so that he can hear from God and get God's will known. And Samuel doesn't show up. And Saul waits and waits and waits and grows more impatient to the point where he finally says, done, I'm going to do it. He makes the sacrifices, which breaks God's law. And the instant he does this, Samuel walks into the camp and says, what have you done? You've broken God's law. Saul's all about excuses, about wanting to know what God thought and wanting to know God's will. And in the process, he violated what God had said, you are not to do this. As a result, Samuel tells Saul that God is going to rip the kingdom from him because God desires a man after his own heart. God wants people who are willing to look at the big picture, to speak with him, to talk with him, to allow him to work even when it isn't clear right in front of our faces what is happening, or when what is right in front of us seems so big. Don't miss the forest of God while looking at that overwhelming tree right in front of you. Allow God to work. Blessings on you today.